How's it going, YouTube? Cody Bernardi here with another YouTube video, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at Adsb Exchange. Now, many of you probably have seen this website before. Their whole shtick is that they provide unfiltered flight data on airplanes that are beaconing out information through Adsb, ADSC, MLAT, what was the other one? PIA, LADD, all that stuff. So I'll show you that website, how to use it, how to find planes and all that stuff. And then probably at the tail end of this video, I'm going to show y'all my bus and all that, because my previous video kind of took some people by surprise that I have a fucking school bus. I'm turning it into an RV. I purchased a school bus. So maybe I could show you guys how to buy a school bus or things in public auction, because you could get some pretty killer things at public surplus auctions. So show you the bus. I'll show you the Tesla. I'll probably do some polls in the Tesla. For those that don't know, I have a 2021 Model 3 Performance. I don't talk about it because I don't want to make my car my personality. It's just a performance electric vehicle. I don't give a shit who makes it. I don't care for Elon Musk. Anyways, let's get on to Adsb Exchange, and then let's go take a look at some of the vehicles that I have. Is this an Arco Cribs? Maybe. I don't know. Let's go. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be taking a look at Adsb Exchange today. It's a pretty simple website to use, but it's extremely powerful, especially since it provides historical data, and it also provides you input into military planes and helicopters and such like that, historical data, and it does not do any sort of, I don't know what the official term is, but other products like Flight Radar and Flight Aware, they simulate a path if there is no detections of the plane on the map, and I do not believe Adsb Exchange does that. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So the website that you will mainly go to is globe.adsbexchange.com. Go ahead and take a look at just adsbexchange.com, just so you can learn how to feed and all that. That's a very important bit of this website, is the ability to feed into their service. And I believe you do get some benefits if you do that. They have an Amazon store, and I'll put some links to it down below, of the little Adsb module that they have, and I believe it picks up other signals and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, I do not know the differences, the technical differences between Adsb, ADSC, MLAT, all that stuff, but I'll put some useful links to all of that down below. So without further ado, let's take a look at what the airspace looks like right now. And again, if anyone at Adsb Exchange has any pointers or anything that I missay or misrepresent, please feel free to reach out to me. I don't want to put out wrong information. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I personally like to track executives, military jets, and all that stuff. It's just a fun hobby of mine, especially since I live right near a few airspaces, SeaTac, Boeing International Field. We have McCord Air Force Base, Whidbey Island Naval Air Station. So we have a lot of aviation going around in my area. So I'm just naturally attracted to this stuff. Anytime I hear a plane flying above my house, it's like, okay, that's probably the sheriff's department, or is it, as my girlfriend's father calls them, ghetto birds? I think that's a Oakland term. I don't know. He calls them ghetto birds. I'm not going to call them that. They're police helicopters. But anyways, let's take a look. So obviously all of these are planes right here, and helicopters and miscellaneous things like that. So the one thing to denote about the different colors of these planes. Now, again, Adsb, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the colors are associated with their current elevation. It might be on the protocol that they're using, whether it's Adsb or ADSC. So let's take a look at some of these. So ASA 792. Actually, before I get into any of this, I just want to call out the call signs, what ASA, AAL, what that means. So this one right here, ASA, is going to be an Alaska Airlines. This one is Qatar, or Qatar. I don't know how to say it. QTR, let's take a look. Just looking at some of these. UAL is United Airlines. QXE, that's going to be Horizon Airlines, or Alaska Airlines. It's just a subsidiary. AAL is American Airlines. So just when you're tracking planes and stuff like that, you'll see the call signs and stuff like that. They're typically going to be associated with a particular airline if it's going to be a commercial jet. SkyWest, I think I saw a DAL, which is going to be Delta Airlines. Yeah, DAL is Delta Airlines, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and just track this jet right here. So we have DAL 320. I don't know if that is just the call sign or if that is the actual flight route. We could take a look at DAL 320. Okay, so DAL 320, Boston to Seattle. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So it's a call sign. It's also the flight route. So typically with flight paths and stuff like that, so DAL 320 is, in this case, Boston to Seattle. And more than likely, DAL 321 is Seattle to Boston, or DAL, did I say 329? DAL 319 is more than likely going to be Seattle to Boston, or DAL 321, Seattle to Boston. So we could just take a look at that real quick. So 321, LAX to ATL. So it's more than likely DAL 319. Stand corrected. Most of the time, like if you look up DAL 1, Delta 1, JFK to London, typically it's the inverse. Yep, London to JFK. So anyways, there's that. So that's not ADSB specific. That's just plain tracking basics. So in this case, on Adsb Exchange, we have a few things in here. We have the registration. So REG, that's going to be the tail number of the jet. That's the N code on the back of the plane. Most planes in North America, I think I'll say most planes in North America have an N tail number. It starts with an N. There's some older planes that don't have that, and military jets have a different registration. We have DB flags, which we'll get into flags in a bit. But in this case, it's just using normal Adsb Exchange, or not ADBS, ADSB. It's not under the PIA program or the LADD program, which is kind of the program the FAA puts together to mask the tail number for tracking purposes. Typically, planes with an LADD flag, you won't be able to track on FlightAware or anything like that, but Adsb Exchange, I don't know how they get around it, but they go ahead and just said, fuck off FAA, we're just going to do it. And then PIA actually changes all the data about that particular jet. When I went on this whole Twitter investigation a few months back where we were tracking like 3 PIA jets, which I'll show you how to look at all that. They were all flying to Monterey, California, and we were tracking who was flying those, because on here, if there's any jets flying PIA, which we'll do real quick, see if there is anything, which more than likely there isn't. Yeah, so there isn't any jets flying under PIA right now. So when a jet flies under PIA, it's a little suspicious. We were tracking it and we're able to find it was Centene Corporation through this whole Twitter OSINT thing. If I didn't delete all my tweets, I'd show y'all that whole Twitter thread. Anyways, so let's just go ahead and click on one of these jets again. So this is a WestJet. Again, registration starts with a C, so maybe the N tail number is USA specific. So C tail number, DB flag's not type. It's a 2018 Boeing 737 MAX 8. It's squawking 7775 squawk codes. I can't really explain them. I believe they are unique to a particular jet flying at that time. There are certain squawk codes that you should keep an eye out for. They're like emergency squawk codes that determine if you're having a mechanical failure, if your jet is being hijacked, if you have a medical emergency, all that stuff. So squawk code, it tells us the ground speed, the barometric altitude, geometric altitude, vertical rate. So it's at a cruising speed right now, 0 feet per minute. Track has a 357 heading. Position, that is just the GPS coordinates. The distance, NA. Source, this is where we see it's broadcasting via ADSB. And then just the signal strength right here, the RSII and stuff like that. Let's see. The altitude is 32,000 feet. The heading is Okay, so the heading is 338 degrees. Yeah, and just some basic stuff about this particular jet. Now, where you would find this kind of information useful is I will show you the historical data. A good use case of all of this is back when Amazon was determining headquarters 2, which is their second headquarters, obviously, is people were tracking Jeff Bezos's jets to see where he was flying to the most. And I think at the time there was like 10 different cities that were under consideration, and he was almost exclusively flying to BWI, or not BWI, DCA, Ronald Reagan International or Regional Airport. So they were like, okay, well, he's only flying to District of Columbia. We're just going to assume headquarters 2 is in DC. And that's exactly what the case was. So we'll get back here and we will take a look at planes flying under the DB flag of LADD. So these are typically going to be jets and planes and stuff like that want to remain hidden on services like FlightAware and stuff like that. Most of the time, they are going to be private jets and helicopters and stuff like that. So we'll take a look at this jet. So SDU-162, private jet. It's a 2001. Now I'm going to try to pronounce that. It has a DB flag of LADD, which if you click on that, it will bring you to lad.gov. And it will tell you all about it. So limiting aircraft data displayed, that's what it stands for. So in order to satisfy LAD program, privacy, ICO address, all that stuff. So this is what it's all about. So we got this jet right here. Now let's say this particular jet, N57 DJ, this is a particular person. Actually, let's not even just track this jet. Let's go straight to Dan Bilzerian. Let's do a little OSINT on Mr. Dan Bilzerian. So we'll go here, and this particular person, I was doing an investigation on that Tesla flying over the hill, but I couldn't find anything. So we will go to Dan Bilzerian. Oh no, him and Floyd Mayweather are like. Actually, let's do Floyd. I've tried Floyd in the past, and he attempts to hide his tail number in his social media accounts. So let's just track the history of Floyd Mayweather, and I'll show you how to calculate the ICAO address. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick. And yes, I have the sound turned off. Yeah. I don't know if there's music or anything like that that would get me blocked up or whatever. Okay. Gumball 3000. Recognize that. Okay, so nothing there. Let's keep going. So we know what to look for. We can obviously just Google like the Money Team jet. And you could probably find tons of photos on jetphotos.com or whatever. But he hides the tail number really well in a lot of his social media accounts. But it doesn't really help him because he literally plasters his name and stuff like that on the side of the jet. So, I mean, it's a very easy Google search. Let's keep her going. Also, a useful tool is called Fox Scroller. And then you just click it anytime you want it to stop. Might be going a little too fast for me. So we could just right click, set speed, and then we'll just do half speed, so 500 pixels per second. There we go. We're looking for anything with the tail number. I know how to get it just by Googling it, but I just want to see if he slipped up anywhere in social media posts. So we will pause that. So you can't really see it there. That's okay. Like I said, he does a pretty good job. He has good Oh, an example right here. He covers up the tail number in his photos. So Mayweather. Let's look up Mayweather jet. Just look that up real quick and click on images. It's literally right there. Okay, so we have N151SD. So we'll go ahead and save that 51SD. Okay, so if we were to go to like Flight Aware, and I'll show you what this looks like when they filter out content. So we type in the tail number Michigan Appearances LLC. It will say not available for public tracking per request of the owner operator. All that stuff. And the same will go on Flight Radar 24. So if we just Google Icao Calculator, I don't know what Icao stands for. Let's see. Aviation. Icao is International Civil Aviation Organization. Okay. I go here. So Icao Calc. We throw in the N number right there, hit calculate, and then we will take this hex number right here, Control C, and then we will go here and replace this Icao with the one that we just calculated. And is there a space? No space. Okay. Hit enter. And we will see Mr. Floyd Money Mayweather right here. He has an old jet, 1994. Wow. So anyways. Oh, is he flying right now? No way. No, I think they just turned the transponder off. Well, he was flying today. So what you do is you click on history and you can go back certain times. So we could see right here. So we have UTC day. So keep that in mind. It goes by Universal Standard Time. We could go back to yesterday. So he flew from Florida to what appears to be Las Vegas. Go back. Didn't fly. He flew this day. And you could see that some of these routes don't make sense. Like he flew from North Carolina to New York to Florida. That's because we have this section right here called legs. Because obviously you can fly a jet multiple times in a day. So it says all right there. So his first leg of the day was, I'm assuming, North Carolina to New York. And then he flew from New York to Florida, and that's it. Now, you will note right here, it's kind of cut off. Like there's no airport or anything like that right there. That's because he was flying and it must have hit the next or the previous day in UTC. So if we click previous, you could see like it cuts off right there. So just keep that in mind. He was still flying that same day. It's just universal time, not localized time. So just keep that in mind if a flight path doesn't make any sense. So technically this day he flew only one time. So from, let's see, he actually flew from Miami to New York. And if we click next, he flew from New York back to Miami. So, and then we can keep going back. You can edit the dates up here. So you don't have to like click. So we could just change this to 2021. And he didn't fly that day. So, but we could see he flew on April 2nd, 2021, from Las Vegas to New Orleans. So, yeah. And, yeah, that's pretty much everything that I would talk about with Adsb Exchange. Let's just go over filters real quick. So we'll go back to filters. We could do filter source type. You can see we have ADSB, ADSR, MLAT, TISB, Mode S, Other, ADSC, and then filtered by DB flags. So we could do military. So we could track military jets, and this is universal around the world. So we have a Morocco 747 military jet. We have a French military Airbus A330. That's more likely going to be United Kingdom C-17, and yeah. And also keep in mind the countries that you see there are going to be in the country's official language. So like Ukraine and stuff like that. Obviously, there's nothing going on over in Ukraine right now. So if we were to reset this, you could see like Ukraine, nothing's going on. Obviously, there's a war going on right there. Has been for a few years, but an official invasion of Ukraine is happening right now. Let's see. What are these? Now, keep in mind, this is just where the plane is registered. It doesn't necessarily mean that's where the plane is actually from. It's just registered in that country. So, anyways, that is it for this video. I am probably going to make a separate video showing the Tesla and all that stuff. If y'all enjoy content like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can get notified anytime I post a new video. Yeah, like I said, just burnt out a little bit. It's hard to make content. Really hard to make content. Like I mentioned, I did the OCP giveaway. Listener was the winner of the giveaway. So if you want to find out how we came to that decision, go ahead and check out the previous video. So anyways, that is it for this video. Y'all take care. Goodbye.